Hello and welcome, I'm Matt from Cactus Labs, and let's get straight into how we can create a true first-person camera where you can see your arms and legs, which might be something you might use for a horror game or a first-person shooter, something like that. So let's get into it. So I've started off with this third-person template from Unreal. If you don't have that and you already have a game going, just go to Add New, Content Pack, and add your third-person content pack here. And that'll just give you access to this third-person character blueprint, which is what we want. So let's get in here and get editing. So the first thing we want to do is uncheck real time, and I'll show you why in a second. Because we're about to attach this camera to our mesh, and if we have real time on, our camera will be going all jittery when we want to move it quite precisely, so we don't want that. So let's turn that off. So let's first of all get our follow camera and drag it straight onto our mesh here. So we don't want to use this camera boom anymore, so we can just delete that. Now let's go ahead and move our follow camera roughly to where we want it. Let's not be too precise because it's about to get moved, because we're going to go up here into our parent socket and we're going to look for our head. Let's scroll down. Here it is, head. And now you can see it's moved. It's also rotated itself, and that's probably because the bone for this mesh is also rotated. So let's get that going like that. This is the eyepiece, so that should be facing up. And it looks to be on a slight rotation, so we're going to turn our angle snapping off, get it into position, and adjust that slightly. Alright, let me turn also our grid snapping off. Turn this speed down and move it into position. We want to get his head maybe just poking through, something like that. Now if we test this, it's not going to be looking how we want it, and I'll show you why in a second. So you can see it's perfectly snapped to his head, so much so that we can't actually rotate properly because it's trying to just rotate us on the spot like it would in our third-person camera boom. So what we first of all need to do is check this use pawn control rotation, and if we hit play, now you can see that if we run around and hold W, it's looking how we want it to. But if we turn the camera around, we can actually see our character mesh, which is not what we want. So what we need to do is go into our default values here of our third-person character, and let's type in yaw, and we want to select here use controller rotation yaw, and if we compile and save, and now we can see that when we actually move our mouse, our mesh also follows, which is what we just enabled. So now you can see that with our animations, we've got a first-person view where we can see our arms, legs, all of our animations, all that sort of thing, and it's working quite nicely.